I'm not up at 2 a.m. no more.
All right, episode 4, Project Exodus podcast. As you can see, we're missing Mr. Brock. He died. No, I'm just kidding. So we
Just some boxes fell on him.
Yeah, no, he's doing good. We had to take a hiatus from the studio over there. He started, some martial arts on Thursday when we normally record, so we didn't want to skip a week. So we are here at the remote studio at the Salvation Army here in Sarasota, Florida. My name is Paul. This is my friend
Andrew
and my buddy
Joel.
And we are with Project Exodus, and this is the Project Exodus Corp podcast, episode 4. I just want to start off by saying, for anyone that aware of what's going on lately, our hearts, prayers, and thoughts, and everything that we can possibly send the way of the victims of the tropical storm Debbie. The flooding here in town has been horrific. I know locally 4 of the halfway houses in town were pretty much a total loss in most cases. I know so many people that were rebuilding their lives had pretty much come back from nothing to now all of a sudden they don't have a home, they don't have a car, their clothes are gone. So if you're listening to this and want to help in any way, there's a ton of GoFundMe's, there's a ton of opportunities where you can donate clothes, food, different things. But go to our website, projectexoduscorp.com. You can donate there. We're raising money by selling t-shirts. We have a specific t-shirt made that says "We Are Sarasota." We have a GoFundMe that we started, and it's strictly to raise funds for these people. So far, I think the last time I checked, we'd raised like $260 on GoFundMe, and I think we'd sold like 5 or 6 shirts. And with that money, we were able to help a few people already, and we want to continue doing that. If you could imagine, like the trauma that comes from this, I was actually in the bed the other night talking to Shelby about a good friend of ours that mother of 3, her and her husband lost everything. I mean, their car seats, their diaper bag, their work boots, and they're in a hotel room. And me and Shelby are laying in our bed, and I'm like I couldn't imagine just having.
Dude, there were like cars, like 3-4 feet, in water.
Yeah, they still are. I mean, you drive down the streets in some of those neighborhoods, there's cars pulled over still
From
still
a tropical storm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sarasota's got.
I mean, maybe a Cat 1, but it was just like
No,
insane.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sarasota's got definitely some issues they need to clean up in regards to.
I don't even think we didn't get that much water with Ian, and that was like a category 3.
The biggest contributor is the fact that we just came out of a drought, and this water just ran off. I mean, you know what I mean? Like there was the ground was so hard that this stuff just sat on top of the ground. It's still sitting out there in ditches, and I mean, but it's terrible. And so I don't want to go without saying, like, our hearts, thoughts, prayers. We is with these people, and not just people in recovery, but everyone in our town. I mean, this is our home. And so we just want to do anything we possibly can to help these people get their lives back in order as soon as possible. So, every little dollar counts. Every little bit of food we can give away. I will say, for the most part, a lot of the people that we've ran into, I think they're just used to fighting, coming back. So super resilient.
It's just another war in their books.
Something new to persevere through.
Absolutely. I mean, it's wild.
Luckily, Sarasota's a community, but the recovery community is like super strong. So it's like as soon as people were reaching out, like Cassandra and them, it's like then we got Angela and people just like we're just on the ready to go out and do what they could to help people. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Angela, Sonia. I mean, these two, I'm not saying that they were affected by it, but they're just troopers, like soldiers.
Yeah.
Just what can I do? And just out there helping. I mean, the Salvation Army has been amazing. They've come through. They've allowed us to kind of help people store some stuff here. Food donations. They've given us a place to take in donations and hand them out. This community's been amazing. We had a company. What's that company's name? They sent me an email about They were going to donate a bunch of soap. It's a local soap company.
Really?
And yeah, they sent us an email talking about like how many bars of soap you need. I was like, I don't know.
10,000.
Yeah, they said they were tired.
We dirty.
We'll give a shout out to them. I'll go back through and see what that company was, and we'll post it on there and tell them a big shout out to them. Were either one of you guys affected at all?
No, I mean, like, not, no. I mean, like, not really at all. I mean, I was in St. Pete for the storm, but like, my family's like, where we live, like, the backyard got some flooding, but like, not like if you go down like 2 miles down the street to Sherwood Forest, there's like a three-quarter house. There's a guy, Jack, who has a house there. Let's get like the lake like flooded up, and I was doing some work there yesterday, but like the lake flooded up so high. Like when I went through their little cul-de-sac at the end, all the cars were like had all four doors open, the trunk, so like everything was like super flooded.
Yeah.
Like
That's,
maybe like 6 feet. Like it was like the whole neighborhood was just devastated.
Yeah, I've been here down here 14 years, and I haven't seen anything like that.
It's crazy.
So
Yeah. Did New Life have any damage?
no, I mean we had no internal damage, but like the yards were flooded, the streets were. I mean, people were riding by in their canoes all day long in front of front of a couple of the houses. So
Yes. And Florida is notorious for not being scared when these storms come through. I've seen some wild stuff.
You see the videos that Aaron posts on Instagram?
Yeah.
Was it my Florida guy? Your Florida guy?
Yeah, shout out to Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Some of the stuff I seen. One of the ones I seen.
it's a reason for a lot of these people to test out their canoe for the first time that year, their kayaks. I mean, they're ready to go.
I'll tell you the one thing that I've seen that was just absolutely insane was I think it was on Bay Vista, the fire truck. Did you guys see the fire truck?
Yeah, submerged all the way up to the doors.
you
and-
serious?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
windshield. Like, so from my understanding, and I could be completely wrong, this is just what I heard, that the fire department rushed down there, I think, to block off some roads and to start the rescue efforts. And within a matter of moments, it had flooded up to the windshield of a fire truck. And this is, I mean, at least 5-6 feet, I would
Yeah.
imagine. And you see some of the photos of like the water level being like right below the gutter on some of the houses.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's serious. Yeah, like there was one house I seen where the water line was at the crest. It was on the shingles on the roof. Like it was just insane. And
Dude.
one of the houses at Purpose House, Pinecraft House.
I seen, is that the one that's posted the pictures on Facebook where it just
Yeah.
shows the cars in the driveway just like submerged?
So this is why I wanted to kind of allude to this. This is why it's so important to us, like as far as like donating or helping these people. There was a guy in that house. I won't say his name for amenity's sake, but he had just got out of, he had just got into the halfway house and pretty much had nothing. But he had built up this little bit of stuff, and in a moment,
Gone.
all of it's gone.
It's gotta be, just defeating feeling.
There was a girl in one of the Sarah's houses that today they were just able to go back and visit and like see what they could salvage. Her car's totaled. And like this was like a huge part of her recovery journey was like getting her license back, getting her car, and to come home and it's just totaled. I mean, granted, because of the way she's living now, she has insurance, they're giving her rental.
I mean, you could never even expected something like that much flooding from just rain. But how did it rain for? Like what? Did it rain like for a couple days straight, right?
Yeah, just solid. I think there was like a front that just stalled over the top of us. Yeah, me and Shelby wasn't completely unscathed. No, we didn't have anything happen quite like everyone else has seen. I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning when I like put my foot out the bed, like
Wet.
the carpet was wet, and I was like, "Oh, this ain't good." And I went, and the water from like outside that was going through the drains had actually backed up through like our bathtub, and
That sucks,
dude, it's wild. Like it flooded our bedroom, our daughter's bedroom, all the bathroom. And what's weird is like I got up, we couldn't really do anything at that moment, so we left and went to her grandparents' house. Just kind of stayed. There was power. We could use the bathroom, things like that.
Did you guys lose power too?
Yeah, we lost power. Like the transformer, like right outside the house blew.
Damn.
Yeah, it was weird. Right after I'd woke up too. Like I woke up and Shelby's like, "What is it?" And then, pow, everything went out. And Charlotte was wide awake.
It's just
Like she's
chilling.
crawling in the bed. What up? But the so we come home and the water had drained. So it's like, okay, so I go in there and we get every towel in the house, wipe up all the water, try to assess the damage. We go sit on the couch. We're like exhausted. Like I was taking Charlotte's like baby bathtub and like filling it
Scooping
up.
water up.
Like my back still hurts from doing it.
Jesus.
But we're in the living room and a couple minutes later I hear like the toilet bubbling
Boop, 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 boop.
and it's filling up again. And I'm like, oh no way.
This is the video you sent me yesterday.
No.
The second time.
This was the day the hurricane.
Ah.
So I just start filling up a bucket and finally it drains and I'm thinking that's the end of it. Today's Thursday. This had to be Monday. No, yeah, this was Monday. So Tuesday goes by, no problems. Wednesday goes by. I go off work. I drive to pick up Charlotte. It's probably like 5, 6 o'clock. And my plan was to go home and start like pulling things out of the bedroom to like.
Yeah, I brought you the fan to try to dry it out, and we had a plan to try and.
Yep. And then I get home last night and it's flooded again. And I mean, it's really kind of weird because there's nothing you can do.
No.
So,
But I mean, you could have lost both your cars too.
Yeah, that's my point. It's
You
like,
know?
I mean, we're in much better shape than a lot of people that just don't have. I don't know. I feel horrible for them. I really do. But they'll overcome. A lot of people will get
We're
strong.
resilient.
Yeah, very resilient, like cockroaches. Can't get rid of. So yeah. So I mean, I don't know what you guys really want to talk about on today's agenda. I did want to, just brainstorming about, I don't know, living in the moment. And to me, like, what really kind of inspired that was I heard something like a week or two ago, and it was like more parenting and relationship advice. And it was talking about how, like, when your wife wants you to go to the grocery store with her, go to the grocery store with her, like, and live in the moment and enjoy that quality time. And it hit home with me because I hate going to the grocery store with Shelby. Like, I just hate it. I'm one of those. I'm one of those type of guys that like get in, get out.
Paul's got the list.
Oh man, like, but nah. Here comes Dom. What up, brother?
What's up, dude?
So yeah, like that's kind of one of the things I was thinking about. But living in the moment with the nonprofit from that side of it is Purpose House has their meeting up here at 7 o'clock. But at this moment in time, like where we are in this journey as a nonprofit, we're not quite a year old yet. But in the time that we've done it, like it seems like it's just grown so quickly. And we're sitting here with a mobile podcast studio that we're all super proud of. But man, like it just seems like this is that Microsoft moment where you're Bill Gates in your garage, or
I like what I like what you're saying.
Or is that Bill Gates or is that Apple?
Yeah, I mean,
Either
garage.
Yeah. But like living in the moment with these things, and like I think it's really important for us to appreciate this, because if this ever does like blow up to some big thing where we're sitting in our own office and we're having like a very professional studio, like whatever, manifest whatever, like how do you guys feel about living in the moment, and what is your experience with it as far as the nonprofit goes?
Yeah. I mean, I like this topic already. It's something I've been trying to do. I have not been living in the moment. I have not been really kind of practicing any kind of gratitude or mindfulness. Really in the past couple of years, I've just been trying to grind my way out of hell, really. And I haven't even stopped to enjoy any of the process. As far as the nonprofit, this kind of feels like it's always been here. You know what I mean? Even though you know what I mean? It feels like it doesn't, it doesn't feel like it's only been, a short amount of time for me. It feels like something that's always been there. It's going to be around when I'm, dead and gone. It's kind of I think this thing's here to stay. So
That face. Living in the moment. As relates to Project Exodus. Like Joel, I too like the topic. Um, um, I mean, I don't know. It's like everything we're doing is new. I mean, we got our meeting, we got our usual like routine, like what we're doing now. But I mean, I think that's kind of how that's been the process for us is just being in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, or just we needed a space for a meeting, and we've talked about it. And we looked and we looked, and then we found a place that we were told we wouldn't get, or we bought all this podcast equipment so that we could try to reach a bigger audience to try to, get some funding or just to be able to reach more people and help more people in any way we could. And then we meet Brock, a week later at our meeting with the podcast studio. So it seems like all the things we're doing, it feels like it's right, and I think at the end of the day, if our hearts are in the right place and they stay in the right place and that place being service and helping others, I just see blessings like this happening over and over and over, as long as our purpose is to help people. I mean, there's no telling how successful this movement, not that it's like something new, but I think it's going to be successful.
Yeah, I have the crazy ability to turn everything into either a super optimistic positive view because I hate the negative.
Even with your own situation, because I know, like, after I spoke to you the other day, remember we were talking about I gotta be careful, I don't want to get in trouble, but I was asking you about advice about this new relationship I'm in, and like talking to you about some of the fears or insecurities I have had in the past and things like just how things feel different now, like, you know, and like you made me see things from a different point of view, and I actually felt better after talking to you about it. But are you able to do that with your own situation?
yeah, you're a great counselor.
Yeah.
No, I'm horrible with
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a
How are you
really
counseling
yeah,
yourself?
that's a really cool question to ask me because like I'll say this. I'm not hard on myself in the right areas. Like I'm not disciplined for Paul.
Yeah,
Like I say the things that are really valuable information to other people, but I'm so busy not focusing on my more internal issues. And I don't want to go too deep into that, but what I will say is I did a Zoom meeting the other night. Um, I've been trying to learn how to have recovery be part of my life like it was before I got into, we had Charlotte. And I don't blame anyone for the reason I don't go to meetings like I used to, but schedule conflicts have been crazy.
Life happens,
You
dude.
know, learning how to balance all of these really good things for me properly is where I have had all these shortcomings, and I don't really have opinions on it. Like I don't know how to tell someone to have balance when it comes to recovery because the natural thing that you hear is don't whatever you put in front of your recovery you're going to lose. To me, I'm trying to figure out how to have the right amount because before I had to have a meeting every day. I had to have it in 4 meetings a week at some point.
And then it begs the question, like, what is recovery?
Do
Is
what?
recovery like Joe? Is recovery going to one meeting a day, every day, all the time? Or uh,
I'll tell you what I've figured out, and I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. I still have stresses today, like I had when I was using, but like I had stress then, I have stress now,
mhm.
but I have good stresses now. Like if I'm stressing over how I'm going to get drunk, that's horrible. But if I'm stressing over how am I going to make 2 meetings this week, that's okay.
yeah.
Like
The problems exist, just the quality of the problems
right.
get better.
And what I will say is I learned that I heard that guy talking about like he has good stresses today, and that really resonated with me because I have to start giving the meetings that I do attend credit. Like this is a meeting to me,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. Like I
When you're
don't.
talking about recovery, half the time when we're talking on the phone, it's about recovery or
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, that's how I feel. A meeting is anywhere, any place.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
this: I wouldn't go to an AA. And no, I'm not talking smack. There are some really good meetings out there, but there's not very many occasions in my life where I go talk about recovery and I look down and I've been here for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Not not saying that I shouldn't go to other meetings and attend them. It's and sit back and shut my mouth and listen. But I got to start giving these things credit. So I'm not looking in the mirror going, "Oh, I'm not doing enough." Like I feel like this is quality stuff that I'm doing. You know, I go to the Sally tomorrow night and I take a meeting there. And my old sponsor was like, "Well, that ain't a real meeting."
We got to talk to
Yeah.
Rick too about allowing me to get back
Yeah.
in the rotation. But
But I want to say like I'll be the judge of what's a real meeting.
Yeah.
I
And so you got a couple issues there. For one, when someone gets sober in a specific way and under a certain structure, sometimes they have a bias for that. So if you got some old school AA guys that only got sober in AA meetings 20 years ago, that is kind of they got tunnel vision on that kind of recovery. That's the only way they think someone can get, find recovery or find help, stay sober is through AA meetings done a specific way. And it's just not how it is. I mean, it's not reality. And it's so many people are getting, um, finding recovery in different ways, from smart recovery to other 12-step programs to different forms of service work. And I mean, there's just so much involved. I mean, everyone found their own way into addiction and alcoholism or whatever, and everyone's kind of has their own route out. You know what I mean? So
I think something that to point out would be like, what are the things that you learned in recovery? Right? You had to work the steps. So you had to learn that you were powerless. You had to admit that you were powerless. You had to, come to believe in God. You had, all these things. You had to do a fourth step inventory and to get all that garbage out. And then you know what your defects are, and then you make your amends, and then you do your 10 step where you're just constantly like living amends every day. If you wrong somebody or you do something and make a mistake, you admit that your part, whatever, and then you build your relationship with God and you help others. So there's like all these principles behind the steps. I think you talked about honesty like a lot. Like honesty is a big thing. So who's to say if you're living your life honestly, if you're connected with people in recovery, if you are connected with your higher power, if you're giving back, if you're not going to 4 meetings a week. I mean, what is, I don't understand. Like, how are you not in recovery, or how are you, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So just to answer your question is I feel like because of other people's opinions, I believe that I wasn't going to enough meetings, but I'm not living by someone else's standard. And I think my standard is it probably could be improved in most cases, but I've learned to be happy and content. And that's what I wanted to tie back in with living in the moment. If I'm too worried about the opinion of others about my recovery, I'm not enjoying my recovery. And
think about them. Like, think about how much time people, I don't really have any, but like people that are looking at you and what you're doing, like how much time do they spend in their day thinking
yeah,
about how you're not doing this right? And it's probably not even just you. There's probably a handful of other people that they're just obsessing about, them
yeah,
not doing the right thing.
the
But
well, I think they've seen a lot of
relapse,
devastation and
yeah,
a lot of guys. So I think it comes from a place of love, but
right.
there's such a bias and lack of open-mindedness, and especially as recovery. Like I think we said on the last podcast, recovery I think is going through a huge change. It's evolving, just like every single thing in life.
yeah. And to their defense, I mean, a lot of the people that have these comments, and they've seen a lot of people come in and then go back out, and in some cases even die. So I know that there is like I know that there's a genuine concern about loving someone and just wanting the best for them. So I know that there's not a lot of malice in most of the opinions. I think that there's like genuine, like, hey, I've just seen some people die from this, and I don't want that to be you, and so I'm gonna say whatever I have to say to keep you to come into this or go into that, and I don't want to just butcher anybody's, for if it, because a lot of people, they're very genuine, but like from the point of view of like just being stoic and not worrying about what's anything that's out of my control, just focus on what I'm doing, and in doing that, it allows me to be a better person for the nonprofit, for my family, for myself, um and have enjoy the moment while I'm in it, because I'm not guaranteed another breath of air, but while I'm here, I'm going to enjoy the moment while I'm here. And I can look at this particular podcast. To me, this is my favorite part of recovery. I
Yeah.
get to come and do
I was
this.
dead tired, and now I'm just small.
Yeah.
I think one aspect, like I feel exact same with everything you just said. So one aspect though is sometimes I'll get comfortable and I won't challenge myself in certain areas. And that is where I think like sponsorship would come in. Someone, I constantly need someone to push me further down the road. Otherwise I'll get kind of stuck, stagnant. I won't grow. It's hard to push myself. If I could have did it in the beginning, I wouldn't have needed recovery anyway. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
outside of being challenged, I agree with you 100% on, you know,
Yeah. I wanted, the one thing that I think is really cool, and I want to hopefully evolve what we're talking about, is a few weeks ago, I mean, not that long ago, I remember how stressed I was about the meetings and stuff, because I had, like, I don't want to say I had a control issue, but it wasn't, we hadn't evolved it and grown it to where there was someone in place that could come and take responsibility of like the stream and the audio. And now it's like, where I used to get here at 5 o'clock or 5:30 and set everything up, get the t-shirt table ready, all the drinks, and then come set up all the chairs. And before the first person even got here, now I show up, I go in there to set everything up and turn around, it's all done. Susie's come in and set up the table. Brandon or Andrew have come in and done all the drinks, and then someone else has already put all the chairs up there. And then you see people growing into these positions. I mean, we've gotten to a part now where I don't even have to do the canvas slides. I don't
We
have
talked
to.
about like assigning things and like, which is something we probably could still do, but like positions, but it's just like people are just like
people
a
naturally
part of
want to
this.
do it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just doing
and
it. It's
and
cool. It's pretty cool to see.
so it's allowed me to develop where I had that character defect of being so controlling over everything.
No.
Like I can just let go. Like I can
Just let go.
yeah, just have faith. Like
Let it go.
I don't know. I love it. We've grown as far as like our the people on our panel or group that present. Like Angela's presenting this week. She's new. I think she's done it one before. We got Nicole coming in a couple weeks. She's going to be presenting, and it's growing to just crazy levels. I think we probably had one of the highest attendance in a while. It was like 70 something people were
Four.
there.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that
For
was even after the week
They all
layoff
came for
and
you, Joel.
I mean, it was the night that the hurricane was coming in
Joel
down.
is so.
man,
He's
I
like, I
was
don't know,
sweating.
man. Every time, I don't know.
Another 10 people would walk in and be like, "Oh,
Hey, people,
face your fears,
wait,
man."
You
I don't.
got this.
I got to say this, and shout out to Mo Gutman. Jack, his son, is doing great. He's 19, good kid. Um, Mo showed up, him and his wife,
Yep,
and
supported us. That was great.
and that was so cool to see, because I mean, if I'm not going to put Jack's business out there, but we've watched this kid go from nothing to
He looks like completely
Yeah,
different
it's
from
all-
like 2 months ago.
Whole different kid,
oh yeah, different kid.
different mannerisms, behavior, communicates differently. It's weird.
Yeah, and
Is it ever since like JT stopped riding him?
no, I mean, like, I think a lot of it has to do with just being involved with people that are, they're not so strict, like like I don't know.
It's now, yeah, less of authoritative, more of a inspiration.
Yeah,
You know,
and I mean Jack inspires me, man. I'm so proud of him. Him and his dad have a really good relationship now. Like Mo was telling me, like how he just never heard from him before, and now they're
He looked happy on Saturday
oh
too.
my goodness,
When you're like, "Look who's here!" I'm like, "He's been here the whole time."
yeah,
I had no idea. That's
yeah,
super cool.
yeah. So I mean, like I guess talking about living in the moment with watching the meeting run itself, and understanding how that I didn't think it would ever be able to do that. And now I'm seeing that it's running itself. Like another one is like the relationship we have with all the different programs in town. Like I have a great relationship with Purpose House and Kelly Miller. Like we talk almost every day. And
recovery homes, detox centers, residential programs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we just really went out into the world and showed everyone love, and we got that in return.
yeah,
So
Greg Flag over at New Life. Shout out to them. I mean, Greg called me the other day.
Tony, Recovery Church, Bob and Lori Clucky over
Yep,
the Recovery Church.
they've
Like,
been amazing. So
Oh yeah, and that reminds me. September 1st. Today is the what? August 8th.
yes,
August 8th. So
we got
September 1st
fentanyl.
is the first annual fentanyl walk and resource fair. It's going to be downtown Sarasota, right across from like Marina Jacks.
is that where everyone's set up?
Is it JD Hamill? That's the name of the park, I think. But there's going to be tents everywhere.
Okay.
We've got a big surprise. We're going to have our tent. We're going to have, shirts out there. We'll be giving away a bunch of stuff.
Some haircuts.
Yeah, but basically the way it's going to work is like you go and you register. There'll be a walk over the Ringling Bridge and back, and they'll hand you like a bag. And then each different booth will have something that you can go get, whether it's like a bottle of water. I know they're giving away free Narcan. I don't know if I really want to say what we're doing.
Yeah, we'll just hold the surprise a little later, man.
Yeah, let's hold it.
Yeah.
We've got something really cool coming. I think it's going to be awesome. We're going to see what we can turn it
You guys
into.
having conversations behind my back?
No,
yeah.
you've literally set this up already.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's that sleep deprivation, man.
yeah.
oh.
But yeah, like the fentanyl walk, you can go to the Sarasota Fights Fentanyl on Facebook. Tony's doing a great job running that.
It was your idea, man.
I don't think it was mine. I think I were talking about it wasn't mine, but I just know people,
Well, we're
Oh,
going to see where it
serious.
goes. I mean, we're going to have a good time. A lot of foundations. I know Graph's going to be, or programs. Grasp is going to be out there.
Biggest probably recovery event.
Yeah.
So basically,
Year?
if you've ever used fentanyl and are clean, or you know somebody who's overdosed and died from fentanyl, or you've been affected by this fentanyl
Family
epidemic,
members,
like
friends,
definitely
coworkers.
show up and show some support. And if you're able to do anything, is it like a
Not even-
fundraiser, or is it just like we're just out there supporting each other?
I mean, there's ways for fundraising, but I mean, the main goal is that if anybody is seeking recovery, they're going to have several, like Light Chair is going to be out there. There's a couple other that are going to be taking in like direct, like if anybody needs, detox, they'll take them right there on that moment. If you just need to have some Narcan on you, maybe you've got some friends or a family member that is using, and you just want to have some to keep in the car or at the house, like come there. If you're
That saved my life once.
Yeah, if you're looking for affordable housing in a sober environment, there's going to be a ton of halfway houses there that are, that can help you and guide you through that. If you're looking to just go and hang out and like have a good time, like that, it's a good place to go. It's not just, but it's also in memory of people that have been poisoned by fentanyl, lost their life to overdose.
So awareness, it's fellowship, it's unity. It's going to be.
If you go on
recovery,
Yeah,
venue and avenue and access it.
And we designed a shirt.
Yeah, we have a shirt. You can go to our website, projectexoduscorp.com. We have a fentanyl walk 2024 shirt that you can order. You can only get it online. If you order it, within a week of the event, you'll have it there. There's white, purple. Did I have another color? Is it just two colors?
I think there's
Black
all
one.
colors. I
Black
think.
one too.
Oh yeah, there's a black.
I think there's like what's that like off pink color too?
I don't know.
That's what Susie said. I don't know.
But a lot of people bought them. we're gonna have some extra other shirts out there. We're gonna have some recovery based shirts with some cool sayings on them. I mean, we have a very large catalog of different types of t-shirts. So
Yeah, if anybody's got any ideas for any cool, any good slogans for shirts, hit us up on Facebook,
for
send us a
sure.
message, and we'll throw up some designs.
Yeah, we'll give you credit for it in the post.
Yeah.
And Tony, I want to apologize if I've butchered what the fentanyl is. If you're listening to this, I know you might be pulling out your hair, but it's going to be fun. We got that coming up. We've got
But definitely swing by our tent.
yes,
It was cool. Like the Project Exodus, like I've known or seen a lot of these people around in the rooms, but because of Project Exodus, like I mean,
Yeah.
we've had dinner with Bob and Lori, like with now, and like was it Recovery Church the last couple weeks, the last couple times we'd went there, and like I have these relationship with these people that I've seen in recovery that have, Tony, like all these different people that I'm now like.
It's unity, man.
It's cool because I like to like just kind of, and I still do it. I'm off in my own world doing my own thing and with my kid and whatever. But it's like it's nice to get out and like have new relationships, and all the people that are like here working with us too. Like it's so awesome.
Yeah, it's helped us connect with just some amazing people in Sarasota and recovery community.
yeah, God's good, man. It's really. I think Mr. Rick even went out to dinner one night with a bunch of people, and that's I don't know how unusual that is, but
I think that's pretty probably
yeah,
like clients and stuff, ex-clients.
Yeah,
I don't
like-
think those occasions don't happen very often.
Well,
but-
I mean, it's really cool that he's, like people get to see him outside of his role at the Salvation Army. I don't know, it's been amazing. So, I mean, that's really cool. So, the Fentanyl Walk's coming up on the 1st. We also have our meeting every Saturday night at 7 o'clock at 1701 South Tuttle Avenue at the Salvation Army. We,
Next generation recovery.
Next Generation Recovery. And it
Oh.
has been great. This Friday night, we have Angela Foster. She's doing a presentation on self-care.
Yeah, I'll be on the panel. I'm not sure who else is on the panel.
Joel Lacey's on the panel. Who was the other person? Jackie. Jackie's on the panel. I think she's got a fourth, but I'm not sure who it is yet. But come out. It starts at 7. It's a really good, unique meeting. Usually there's a lot of people. We have a good time, and it's every Saturday. So it kind of breaks the mold and the just repetitiveness of most meetings. It's different. It's kind of like a speaker meeting, but not.
Yeah, I think we just hit it earlier. I mean, it brings more unity. It's all about service work, especially if you're looking for a service commitment and you're going to a 12-step program. There's nothing available really other than shaking people's hands and serving coffee, and you want to up that level of service in your community and the recovery community. Reach out to us. Hit us up on Facebook. Come to Next Generation Recovery meeting.
If you need community service hours,
Yep.
there's things,
We're a 501c3. Approve it with your probation officers and
What time is it?
7:05.
Oh man. I mean, I can go as long as you guys want to.
We'll go a little longer.
What's something else we can talk about? I mean, we got the Fentanyl Walk covered. We got the meeting.
Well, we can always maybe try to do the podcast, kind of touch on the topics of that week. Like this one's self-care.
Oh, that's a good.
You know what I mean? Like to kind of to give a little, I don't want to say a preview, but kind of a pre-perspective of the topic.
I haven't seen the presentation, and
Self-care.
no one puts me on the panel.
Well, I'll say this about self care. So when we started doing the shirts, that's what inspired it. We had gotten Canva, and I made a shirt that had the self care and the definition.
First shirt I got. Still got.
Yeah, it was the first one, and
It's great now. It was black. I've washed it so many times.
Yeah, I've still got a couple of them, and it was really, really cool to have that shirt. And so one of the first presentations I gave at the Sally was about self-care and how important it is in recovery to take care of yourself. And you can do that by going for a walk or just having some you time, but also I think it's important to take better care of yourself, health wise, the way your appearance is. I mean, there's vast ways of things you can do. Maybe, I know for Ant, going and getting a manicure and a pedicure, something he likes to do.
I didn't hang out with him, man. I need one of those.
Yeah.
I just want the foot massage.
Some people like to go fishing. Some people like to go shopping.
The beach, sunsets.
You know,
eating good.
I think that one of the cool things that I learned about when I would talk about self-care was this little saying. It's like, live like no one else so one day you can live like no one else. You know, taking care of yourself, saving your money, being responsible, being respectful, uh, you know, living like that so one day you can live like no one else. You know, you can be at peace, you can have serenity, you can live your life and enjoy it.
Yeah, the kind of that work now for a better future. I kind of look at it as you know, to kind of throw out my own kind of program that I've been trying to strive for lately is just a pause. I mean, I'm just not. I just haven't been pausing and really reflecting and kind of practicing some mindfulness and enjoying kind of the present moment at all. I've been just grinding to better to better me, but and I've accomplished a lot, but I haven't really took it all in. You know what I mean? It's been more of a trying to outwork the anxiety.
When's the last time you went on a vacation, Joel?
Oh man, I don't know. Couple 3 years.
Where would you go if you had a week off work, you know, in a couple weeks, and
Week off and you had to leave Sarasota. Where would you go?
you had to go somewhere?
Oh, I don't know. Like a geographical place. I don't know yet. Like, give me some time to think about that. But where I go,
You
like
got 5 seconds.
mindset. Yeah, I mean, it'd be more the mindset. Again, like, you know, Joel, you have to leave Sarasota. Again, I'm only just taking my body somewhere. It's my mind that needs to go on the vacation. I'm just gonna go set up camp and
That was just I was
yeah,
looking for like Montana or I don't know.
yeah.
Yosemite.
No,
No,
no.
that's such a good point because like I took some vacation days and I didn't go anywhere, but it was really just to go to that meeting that we went to on Thursday to meet Megan,
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
then Friday I just like sat at home, didn't know what to do with myself, and
Right.
I kind of relate because it's like mentally, how do I relax?
Yeah.
Like what is it like to have a vacation? Like I don't know if going somewhere really makes it
Right. I can
less hectic.
change geographically, I can change the activity, but the mindset, like I need to be able to take this in, pause, appreciate, you know, like I got to remember the bad days so that I appreciate today and just like, I don't know, just fully
I think
accept like
that's
I got a great life today. Why am I not enjoying it? Like I did all this stuff.
do you do like daily like
I'm,
readings or prayer? Like do you have like set times? Is that something you feel like you could work into your routine where you could pause for 10 minutes at work and just
yeah,
like
10 minutes, no. But yeah,
5, 3?
no. I mean, 30 seconds, I'll be like, whoa, here's a moment. Let's enjoy life for 30 seconds and really take in. Like, I mean, I did all these things for like 3 years. I mean, crazy stuff. I mean, work basically 2, 3 jobs at one time, serve, you know, all this stuff just so I have like an amazing life today. Well, why am I not taking that in? You know what I mean? Why am I not partying in my head right now? You know what I mean? And that's like, so I'll remember, I'll be like, dude, you got nothing going on right now. You're just driving to your next location.
It's a nice
Just
drive though.
pause and just like enjoy this, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I got to say this. Something was on my mind when you brought that out, and I know it's going to seem maybe a little far off, but like expectations like ruin a lot of. I think that's one of the biggest things for recovering addicts in general is like expectations ruin everything. Like you can't just enjoy the process. Like when you get sober, people expect you to either you expect yourself to stay sober or someone expects you to go use again. And I think not enjoying that moment and the process, like honestly taking the process and enjoying it and feeling the pain of it and sharing that experience with someone else, just living at the expectation, oh, if I do this, I'll be successful. Or
right.
if I don't do this, I'm gonna go and ruin my life again.
Yeah. And I think Jimmy Carr said it best, you know, life's not about, it's not about the end result because I'm there on a lot of my goals. Like here it is. So that doesn't really hit right. And it's not even about the journey. It's about who you become along that journey.
Yeah, and you don't have like I give you the example I had was this is going to sound so weird, but like I think of like rookies at in the NFL as a quarterback. Like you're a number one draft pick, you come in with all these expectations,
Yeah.
but you have that pressure of being expected to be an immediate success. But like Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions his rookie year, right? People weren't paying attention to the development, being able to develop as a human in whatever area, but that's part of the process. It's like you have to develop these skills and develop these traits. Like they're just
Yeah.
not naturally there.
And it's not even just that, it's also, I feel like I have a societal pressure on me to be at a certain level. I'm 41 years old. I just feel like, especially I'm a single guy, so I feel like this pressure to be at a certain height socially, financially, that I'm trying to live up to, and I don't even know who I want to be. I don't even know those people I'm trying to be that for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that was kind of like what we were talking about the other day about like we're at a different stage of our life, and the people that we meet and the people that we are, more importantly, we've done some things, some bad things. We were not the best people in the world. So when we engage with someone else, we can't have this expectation that they're just this, angel. And so I guess my point is like, it's not fair for me to have expectations of myself to be at a certain point because I'm, of what I've been through, but I can't expect anyone else to have been developed any better. I don't know how to really say this without going through any details, but there's a lot of people.
Like, oh, what do I want to say here?
We can edit it out if
Yeah, I just I feel like where I'm at now, I've just gotten to a point, and I think I've been feeling this way for a long time. Is like, I just want to be done. Like I'm tired of like, it doesn't relate now, but like jail, not being able to stop drinking. Like that was like this a huge thing for so long. But like all the other areas of like my personal life is like wanting to be a good employee, like wanting to have a meaningful, romantic relationship with like all these things I wanted for a long time. But like the old me has always been there. But I feel like these last couple years, I'm slowly growing into I'm able to like be the person I've wanted to be. And I feel like I'm moving in the direction of like, I don't know if it's necessarily like the ideal me, but you know, I don't know, just trying to live by those things, just by being honest, man, and just trying to enjoy life and trying to be a good dad and just, I don't know, but I understand that like, I don't know.
Yeah, the expectation, like with parenting or relationships or employment, the looking at things from the perspective or the lens of this is what I expect it should look like is just horrible because like with parenting, like I don't know how to be a dad. But how the heck am I going to figure out if I don't raise this kid? Like that's the process.
There's
That's
no, there's no like
yeah.
program for raising a kid. There's
Yeah.
lots of different opinions, but there's no.
How am I going to be a good companion, husband, boyfriend, whatever? Well, this is the this is the testing ground. Like this is where
Right.
I go and I
You're
get
in
kept.
live
Yeah,
action.
it's there's not an instruction manual to life. If there was, we'd all read it, or we'd still probably throw it away anyway. Like everyone's experience is different, and so it's hard for any of us to have an expectation of what sobriety looks like in a perfect world.
You know what I'm trying to do now? I just kind of came to me. It's like I've made like so many mistakes. I've done things wrong a lot. So my mind will still want to go back to that. If I'm afraid, like I'm just gonna bolt, or I'm gonna do this because I think this might happen. So like what I'm doing now is like you and I talk to you, more than I talk to more than anybody really. I mean, about what's going on in my life, and it's like that struggle that's inside of me. I don't want to do the things I was doing in the past and to do the things differently to like try to like make my thoughts and my feelings, work not against me, but like trying to like work through all that stuff. Like the emotional stuff is intense. I have no desire to use or drink, but sometimes I get like so stressed, and I'm just like, how do I like, what do I do? I don't, because I don't know how to do these things. I don't,
Yeah, I
but I'm
think
like learning as I go. But I know what the wrong thing is to do. I'm not gonna like, should I
I
lie to
think
this person? No. Should I, get up and go to work? Should I call in? Should I, you know,
I wanted to say like sometimes whenever we're like really really stressed, and people will be like, "Oh, go to a meeting, call your sponsor." We're not talking about like the stress that makes you want to use. Me personally, but what I've started to realize is like it's okay to be stressed. Like that's an emotion and an experience that I can grow from. I it's okay to be upset. It's okay to process trauma. Being stressed out or overwhelmed about something is going to make you better because this is what I was kind of talking about in the beginning about enjoying the moment. The stress that we're feeling, or if we feel stress when it comes to the nonprofit or Project Exodus, if this thing keeps growing, imagine how much more intense it's going to get. So this moment of
Joel's getting ready to say something.
yeah, he's fixing to
He's
drop something. Just straight up knowledge. He just stood up straight. What you got, Joel?
No, I was just feeding off your energy, man.
Yeah, I think that it's okay to be stressed because like with being a parent, like with Charlotte, man, there's moments where I'm just like I don't know what to do. But I understand that this stress is good stress compared to how much more difficult it may be when she starts talking to me, and
At least you're able to. You're in a spot like you're not. Some people won't talk about what they're going through. They won't talk about their feelings or, I'm afraid of this or I'm sad about. They'll just like hold that shit in and excuse me,
no, you're good. Shit.
shit. So they'll hold all that in, and I used to do that. I think one of the biggest things that I've been doing lately is like just like saying "f you" to fear, and I'm just being honest and I'm being open and like vulnerable, like with you in this new relationship I'm in. I'm just like fuck, like screw it. Like
Let it out there.
I'm gonna just do it, man. Like, cause I mean, what else I got to lose? I'm gonna sit here and just like be afraid about all these things, about like
Yeah, it's
is my
miserable.
son gonna be
Yeah.
do great in school and all this. It's like whatever, am I gonna be hurt? It's
just
like I don't have time for that anymore. I want to
figure it
live in.
out.
I'm living
Yeah.
in the moment, and I mean, it feels good. Like
But it's like how what's the steps to do that? Like you're saying, it's like, all right, my problems did get better. Am I taking the time to acknowledge that? Because there's weeks will go by and I didn't even acknowledge that because they hit the same. You get a new level of life, your life gets better. The same problems hit just as hard as the other ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back when you're
And it's
but you're not. But like, I think the biggest thing is you're not running from those problems anymore. Like, like when I had problems before, it was
they're
like
manageable
I'm not
problems.
dealing with any of that. And it's like
Yeah.
now it's like I got to deal with this like now because I know if
Right.
I don't, it's gonna get worse. And then
that I wanted to. It's the one thing that I've noticed about stress. Like this is just me in at least the last few days. Is I've been standing up to like negative stuff. Like I noticed that a lot of negative comments come into my day. Like, oh, this bad thing, this or bad thing. Like there's just so much pessimism around me. And I've like had moments where I've like stopped people and like, hey man,
get out of here with that.
that negative energy is too. I can't deal with it. Like if you don't have anything positive to say, then let's not talk about it. Because I mean, it's one thing to start off your day and just wake up, call someone, hey man, I love you, have a great day, I appreciate you. Like it's like you start off, and what I think for me, what I want to do is I want people to reciprocate that. I want more positive vibes like coming into my circle and like
It's
making
just
me
a
feel
sponge for negativity.
yeah, and it's like I will say that there's I love that people call me to talk to me about their issues. Like it's the weirdest thing. I work at a irrigation store, like it's a storefront, and so many people come in, and I have this weird magnetic effect of just people pour their heart out about like what they're going through and uh, ask me their opinion about this, and this, and so I'm
Sure.
always like
You got
Dr. Phil of
Yeah, you're a natural counselor,
I,
man. Get over it.
yeah, and
Get comfortable with
but
this.
it takes a toll on you. because like it's a lot of bad stuff that you're processing for someone.
Yeah, you're living their nightmare.
Yeah, you are their garbage disposal. They come dump it, you get it out of
I
there,
like to
and
call
then
it an emotional tampon.
yeah,
Now
you
go
soak it
enjoy the
up.
rest of your day.
Yeah.
They left you with the.
Oh man, but then it's like I come like
Th-
and the other
Then you got to
areas,
go home and deal with all your stuff.
yeah, it's like then you got to go home and tear up the carpet because it flooded. You
Yeah.
know, like who's going to come help me with this? But like the important thing is that I have to be able to stand up and say, okay, I've had enough negative stuff today. Let's do something positive. Let's talk about something positive. And that normally when I first came into recovery, that was going to a meeting every day.
It works sometimes. I mean, not ignoring the problem, but like just like okay, we're not. If we focus on the problem, then like let's focus on the solution, or let's talk about something. What's good in your life?
Yeah, let's talk about something nice.
Yeah,
Let's-
I heard about that, and like, okay, that sucks, and this, we got to get through that, but like,
or even not even that. It's just like, hey, stop talking. Let me tell you something good.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a weird one, and I think it's a really cool thing that has developed in my life where. Used to conversations for me is like, hey, can I rip you off? And now it's like, hey, can I have some advice? I'm like, sure, here, take some knowledge.
But also some guys, I got some guys in recovery homes that I'll go talk to, and the only time I communicate with them, it'll be something negative. But I now know that negative few comments they'll say is the only negative comments they say all day. So I know the rest of their day is going amazing, except for these very minor negative.
how do you
Yeah.
know?
Because I observe their entire life pretty much, man, over the past couple of years.
Joel's just a fly on the wall.
I mean,
Joel's the oracle.
yeah.
No, and he's right. It's like,
So they now are kind of freeing themselves. I mean, I don't know any way to stop it. Don't.
it's an honor. It's an honor for people to feel comfortable enough to come up and
Yeah.
and really be vulnerable and lay everything out there and like believe in their mind that you're some source of reason and
You're at least freeing them, and
Yeah.
you've always got a positive input. Like, hey, look at it this way.
yeah.
So you take all their negative energy and you throw it back at them positively, and they're like, "Got my hit from the day. Thanks,
I just
thanks for that free hit,
I
bro."
bottle it up for them.
Hey, I was telling you, did I tell you I had a meeting with Sonya last night?
Yeah.
This
yeah
guy
you was
Matt.
telling me- what about that?
I was just in my, I don't know, it just hit me. It was like when I was going through all that.
For the listeners, what is this meeting and
Yeah.
who is Sonya?
All right, so I had a meeting with Sonya Johnson. She works for NAMI, which is like the National Alliance
I don't know.
for Mental, I don't know, illness.
Yeah,
I got the A wrong. It's like National something for
they're
mental illness.
another program in
Another
town
nonprofit that.
works with, like mental illness.
So she had asked me like, it seems like probably maybe 2 months ago. She was asking because she had heard my story, how I went through like dependency court, my son being taken by the state and all the stuff, but I like I did the process and now I ended up with full custody of my son and I'm in recovery and all this stuff. So anyways, she asked me if I would be interested in helping other dads who have had their kids taken away by the Department of Children and Families. And I was like, okay, well, I just never saw how like that situation that I went through would be able to like help somebody else. And I feel that way in recovery too. It's like, what the hell do I have to say? Like, how am I going to help anybody? But that's just me telling myself that I'm not good enough and I've got nothing good to say.
Yeah.
But so anyways, I had this meeting last night and I just went through like the whole, it's called Parents for Parents. And it's like basically, if there's any dads out there, and I got a few numbers, I got emailed some numbers. I'm going to reach out to some guys to like hopefully just be someone they can talk to about what they're going through, share my experience with when I went through having to work a case plan and having a caseworker and all that like craziness and trauma from like having your kids taken in. My situation was, it wasn't great, so I don't think anyone's just great, but I imagine I was clean, in the process. I imagine it's probably a lot harder if you're like, using and your kids are just taken from you and you're still using. And either way,
So
I
you're
think it's,
you're like an advisor.
or like, it's almost like a sponsor,
Yeah.
kind of, sort
You
of
got a
like,
group of guys, or you
I
just-
have 5 numbers. I just got emailed last night and I have to do some I have to just go through some paperwork and stuff. But
Wow, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, that is
do you
super
know
cool.
about that?
I didn't know about this.
But it's cool because like NAMI, that program, Parents for Parents, they offer or are thinking about starting to offer some of the same types of services that we've talked about doing, like starting a class where we can help
Right.
people learn how to build a budget, how to make a resume,
Yeah.
doing mock interviews, all that stuff. Like, and NAMI has a lot of resources. They've been around for a long time, so they have a lot of resources for helping parents. But I think it's kind of cool because I feel like maybe some of these guys, if they want to like build a relationship with me or if I'm able to help them, maybe that could carry over into what we're doing, and maybe Project Exodus could somehow get involved with Project Exodus and
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
find
that's-
Just you doing
some
that
meaning.
alone is just that fires me up, man.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
That was the best part of tonight, man.
yeah, that's so awesome. Because like,
I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I'm scared because I'm like, oh my god, like
listen, 2 years
yeah.
ago we were in jail.
yeah.
Today you're helping guys get their kids
Well,
back and be
I
better
was
fathers.
maybe like 2 or 3 days into a halfway house or
Yeah,
a
yeah.
weekend.
You're out on the
Uh,
run. So
to kind of to build off of that, like I really wish you guys would be advisors for some of these guys that are about to get their license back, but they got to have that thing in their car. What is it called?
interlock device.
Yeah, oh, man.
Ignition, interlock,
I'm gonna
IID.
yeah.
It
I'm
sounds
gonna,
like
I'll
an
tell you
STD.
everything not to do with it and what to do with
Like,
it.
oh man, I got that
I'm gonna
IID.
I'm gonna throw Brandon's business out there. So every morning, like I pick up this guy Brandon, a real good friend of mine. That's doing his thing, and he's in that process. He's like really close to getting all of his stuff paid to get his license back, and he's like, I think they're gonna have, I don't know what to do with this interlock. I don't want to interlock, and I'm like, Joel and Andrew both had an interlock.
Yeah, 2
know?
years,
Remember Jimmy?
multiple times.
Remember Jimmy?
Yeah,
Jimmy,
Jimmy.
did you? I don't know if you had your interlock or if Jimmy knew you had one. I wish I would have just been able to just divert him to you.
Yeah.
Because every time, once he knew I had the interlock in the car, every time I would see him, I'd like have to duck because he would hold me up for like 20 minutes after me. Just,
Yeah,
I don't want to have to get the interlock. They think I can get out of it, and then he gets it, and then like I see him a week after, and he's like, "Yeah, the thing I got locked out 4 times, and it's
Yeah.
$80 above," and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh god, dude, stop smoking cigarettes." He's got like emphysema.
Jimmy, we ought to have Jimmy on the podcast.
Yeah,
No, like uncertainty plagues the mind.
Yeah.
Like when I hear Brandon talk about it with all this fear, it's so cliche to be like, man, it's not that big of a deal. It's
you know what? He's focused so much on like, how am I? It's like just make phone calls, go online.
I've had it for 3.5 years, both in addiction and in sobriety.
Yeah.
Back when I had to blow and hum, back when we had,
The old
cameras.
hum and blow.
Yeah,
are we talking about the interlock now?
yeah. I've had it shut off my car on me and fire my sirens. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to leave my car and take off running. I basically said, this guy's been drinking.
He was, no, but I mean, like it's just
See Joel just
Yeah. Oh, that was like 8 in the morning, left in the church parking lot, walked to work. It's like, man.
I remember one time there was a
I've
guy
never
that
seen
was-
Joel run before.
There was a guy living in his house that drove a motorcycle, and he like pulled in and dropped his Harley on the hood of his car, and then so he had to take the car to like this mechanic. And
Yeah.
didn't they like get it locked out?
They're drinking in their shop. Didn't tell me they had to take the doors off, and I think they had to rip the battery out, and then I had to pay a fine for it and get it reset up. I mean,
Oh my gosh,
that's
so
just-
well.
So anybody that needs an interlock, if there's anything that you need to do in life, you can literally you have like a supercomputer in your hand. Like you can find phone numbers, and if they don't know, like you got to call the DMV. Like they'll
and
tell
it's
you who to
he's
call.
probably
It's
just
not-
overwhelmed. Well, I mean, the biggest part's getting the car. You know what I mean? Getting the
And-
driver's
well, it's like
license,
it is. It
just
was
like
it was a
having
mother effort, dude. When I was like, okay, so I had a car, but it got repossessed. So probation's like want me to like give them this letter. I'm like, because they want me to have the interlock in the car. I'm like, well, I don't have the car. It got repossessed, so
Yeah.
then I gotta show proof that it was repossessed. But then
Yeah.
like, I don't have a car. My
Yeah, you
credit's
have to
bad. So how am I gonna get a
buy a car
car?
with no license.
But you can't have a car without having the interlock. So it's like, they don't make it easy. How are you supposed to buy a car, but you can't own a car, but you can't drive it away because you got to
Yeah.
have the interlock, but you can't get your license until you have the interlock
Yeah,
installed
can't
in the
get a loan
car.
on a car without
And
driver's
then you got to
license.
put a boot on it for like a week.
Yeah,
But
I bypassed
And
that. You just put it in
just-
someone else's name.
for anybody that's listening and doesn't know what an interlock
Cut-
is,
cut
this is this is
Put
kind
it in
of.
your mama's name. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna probably have to edit this
Yeah, yeah.
and put this at the beginning of this portion of the conversation.
Warning.
Yeah.
An interlock, for
You-
those that don't know,
You don't want that boot?
is
put
a
it in your
device
mama's
that
name.
before you can actually start your car, you have to blow into it, and it takes a blood alcohol reading. And so you have to blow zeros, or the car. But the
You can't start the car until you blow and you have no alcohol in
Listen,
your breath.
I'm
There's
so
a camera
fortunate.
on you. There's
Yeah, I didn't have one, but what's so weird is they make you do it while you're driving. I
You do it
didn't
like
know that.
5 minutes after you start it, and then like every
20
30
minutes.
minutes,
Yeah,
20,
I
30
would be
minutes.
on the phone with Andrew or Joel while they're driving, and all of a sudden I just hear.
Did I ever tell you about the time I went to the park, the Payne Park downtown with Eden one time, and they have like this concrete, like clown car, and he gets in the car. It's like you get in. It's just like a concrete slab that's painted like a
Right.
clown car. But Eden gets in. He's like, Dad. He's like, get in. We're gonna go to California. And I was like, okay. California, all right, let's go, man. And he does this, and he starts blowing in it. I'm like, get out of here, dude.
you know the
Let's start the car, Dad. Ooh, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's terrible.
you
Did
know
I ever tell you that?
you know the crazy thing is
I
I
used to pick it up when it would beep, and I'd be like, "Hello, Eden."
for
He's
a
like-
year I worked at a company and I had to park right out front of the front door. And so I had to, when I left every day, I had to crouch down and secretly blow to start my car. And they knew right away when I got a new car, got it out. They're like, "You take off all fast now, nowadays. What's going on?" And I think eventually they found out.
You know what's
That
funny?
sucks that it's so
embarrassing, man.
hot in the car, dude. You get in there and you gotta wait for it to go through all these things, and
Yeah.
you're just in there cooking, dude. You can't roll the windows down. You just
Yeah.
gotta wait. And if you fuck it up, then you gotta wait again. You gotta sit
This-
there and wait.
That is
Right.
why, and what that is.
Don't drink and drive.
That
Like,
is the
just,
sole reason Joel did not date the entire time he had that interlock.
That was hard to explain, man. That was, I mean,
You want to go out to dinner? Can you pick
Yeah.
me up? Oh, you
Yeah.
can't drive? No.
yeah. Can you follow
Yeah.
me there? I can't.
it wasn't like a horrible response, but I'm already feeling awkward. Now I have evidence to back that up. Now I'm different.
I remember you were driving a Volkswagen, so you could just be like, "This is how Germans start."
Yeah,
their
yeah, freaking Germans.
Well, I think that's been a pretty good podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to say before we close, just thank everybody for all your support. Again, go to the website. You can also check us the GoFundMe for the flood victims that were affected this week here in Sarasota. You check out our website, get a shirt. All the proceeds go to helping people in recovery. Fentanyl Walk February 1st and
Show up Next Generation Recovery
Next
meeting,
Generation
7
Recovery.
Saturday.
Yeah, next week we're going to try to have a guest. We'll see if we're back into the podcast studio by the end, but if not, we'll probably be back here. I think this went really well. So follow us on YouTube, subscribe, like the video, leave some comments, let us know what you would like to see us talk about. Follow us on Facebook. We're almost to 1,000 followers. So yeah, that's more support than we deserve. So again, I appreciate everybody watching. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'm Paul. This is
Joel, love you guys.
and
Andrew, I love you guys too.
you guys. I love you, Shelby. I love you, Charlotte. We'll talk to you later.
What up, Drew?
Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Thank you.